Watch TY react. We're about to react to a man who's an informant. He come home early and killed his wife after she kicked him out. That shit don't make no sense. Make sure y'all like and subscribe.
Nobody wins when the family feels.
And we got single gunshot wounds.
And another high-profile killing. In this one, a woman is dead and a man is already behind bars.
Disturbing information about the shooting death of a Portsmouth woman Wednesday night.
Y'all men gotta stop being so tender.
10 on your side learned Shaquana Jordan was 5 weeks pregnant, according to court documents, when Hashid Mills allegedly opened fire in the presence of the family's 2 children.
Following through on a shooting out of Portsmouth earlier this week that left a woman dead.
Court documents show that the victim in this case was 5 weeks pregnant and allegedly shot by her husband.
According to court documents, there was a history of violence against Jordan. Mills was charged with assault and battery back in January after allegedly punching Jordan while retrieving some belongings at home. That's when he allegedly made a threat to her life. Another act of violence happened last year when Mills allegedly hit Jordan in the face with a phone and pulled her hair out, causing a bald spot.
Some people blame the system. Others blame the suspect, of course. Growing up, my mother had a strict rule. If you commit a crime and get arrested, don't call her asking for help. And whatever you do, don't rat out anyone else to lessen your punishment. I always understood the second part, but I often worried that my mom would turn her back on me if something bad happened, God forbid. But no, that's not it. She taught me the difference between right and wrong. And if I ever did something wrong, it was because I chose to. Yeah, there's something we rarely discuss. Check this out, fam. The case of an informant who should have been behind bars. Instead, he used his connections to turn on his peers, which earned him a lighter sentence while sending his friends to prison. Now, of course, that doesn't align
you a
with
snitch?
the saying, if you do the crime, you do the time.
And
but
you
today,
a
we explore
woman
a
beater,
story about a man who should be paying a price for his actions. He made a horrific choice to kill his legal wife, his children's mother, right in front of them. The oldest, just 7 years old, was left to run to a neighbor house to call 911, crying out, "Dad just shot mommy." So in this episode, we break down the facts of this case, pay our respects, examine where this informant turned killer stands today. But before we go over this one, I want you guys to remember,
he's sick. When he get to jail, they're gonna beat his ass for being an informant.
Make sure you like,
and beat him
and
for killing his wife for no reason.
Right to it. Fam, today we visit a place about 20 miles west from Virginia Beach, Portsmouth, Virginia. Back in 2017, the feds had an operation called High Tide. 24 defendants, all from Portsmouth, Virginia. It was a large-scale narcotics trafficking and firearms investigation that has resulted in the recovery of 65 firearms, 7 kilograms of cocaine, nearly a kilogram of crack cocaine, over 625 grams of heroin, over 100 grams of fentanyl, 75 grams of lace fentanyl, 12 pounds of marijuana.
Why do people sell lace stuff? Like,
oil,
what the hell?
24 grams of MDMA.
Don't you want your customers to come back?
120 grams of
If they overdose, they're not gonna come back.
$560,000 in cash. The narcotic seized have a street value of over $1 million. After doing my math, to this date, Operation High Tide defendants have been sentenced to a combined total of over 250 years in prison. But one person, his sentence did very little contributing, but his cooperation did a whole lot to get that over 250 years and counting. For his co-defendants, of course. And the man we talking about is Hashid Mills. And according to his factual paperwork, his involvement in Operation High Tide was in or about September 2017 to at least in or about December 2017.
That's crazy.
Just between 1 month, on September 7, 2017, he sold a stolen AK-47 style rifle for $950. 3 weeks later, on the 21st, he sold a stolen AR-15 style rifle for $725. And the next day, on the 22nd, he sold 2 stolen firearms and a little more than a gram of heroin.
Why is the serial numbers not scratched off?
And according to the feds, that transaction
not that I condone it,
was on
but
video
what the
and audio.
hell?
The defendant referred to the heroin as raw, meaning it was potent. November 7, 2017, the defendant sold 4.5 grams of heroin to a confidential informant in exchange for $400. The defendant arrived at the transaction location with 3 children seated in the back seat of the vehicle in which he was traveling. The defendant was asked not to bring children to any future transactions, as he agreed. Following the heroin sale, the defendant traveled to Norfolk to obtain a firearm, a Glock that he later sold that afternoon to a confidential informant for $550. A week
Just
later,
sloppy.
on the 14th, the defendant sold 27 grams of C to a confidential informant for $1,000. During that sale, he was video and audio recorded. The defendant used cocaine himself. 2 weeks later, on the 28th, he sold a firearm to another informant for $550. He also sold 19 grams of C to a confidential informant for $950. He thought he was being plugged in, yet he was selling to all informants. But on December 12, 2017, the defendant sold fake narcotics to the confidential informant. Once it was discovered that the substance was fake, one confidential informant sent a text message to the defendant confronting him about the sale. The defendant replied, "You the feds the whole time, bruh. I know I'm F, bro. You made it obvious. Tell the feds they was wasting their time trying to get me. But like they say, you can't beat them, join them, because that's what he did." As soon as he got arrested on April 20th, 2018, the defendant was interviewed by law enforcement. And after waiving his rights and had admitted to the conduct described above, it was also noted that the statement of facts include those facts necessary to support the plea agreement.
YouTube Premium
My
is
bad, y'all. My
ad-free
bad, my
YouTube
bad.
and
My bad, y'all.
exclusive
My
access
bad,
to
my
all
bad.
things VIP, so you can super fan.
Between the defendant and the United States. During his sentence, it was mentioned Hasheed Mills had a unique sentence. That unique sentence was awarded for a specific reason and careful craft by the court. Mr. Mills was to get concurrent time with his state sentence, 60 months from January 26, 2018. And according to his lawyer, he had been a fantastic cooperator. He had done everything asked of him.
A fantastic
He
fantastic
has been one of the
snitch.
best local prosecutors ever worked with. Fast forward to 2025.
Stay out the streets, y'all.
He's a free man, but he keep having run-ins with local law enforcement for putting his hands on his wife. But nothing was done, to the point she had to put him out the house. And according to Portsmouth police, that's when all hell broke loose, which led to a young boy could be heard on the phone during a 911 call, saying his father shot his mother, according to court documents. Family Shaquana Jordan, 30 years old. She
Because you ain't got nowhere to go, you broke.
2 and 7. They was also present at the time.
You killed that woman
The
because she
shots were
put you out the
fired
house.
That led to her demise. She was also 5 weeks pregnant with another child. May they both rest in peace. I love condolences to their families. Within the last year, her estranged husband, Mills, was charged 3 times with domestic assault towards her. And she also had protective orders against him, but it seemed they didn't work. And on Wednesday, February 5th, 2025, video footage captured a dark sedan pulling up to an apartment complex just before 8:30 p.m. The driver matching Mills' description parked and walked towards Jordan's apartment with the car left running. The suspect was wearing a green shirt over a white shirt, a green bucket hat, gray sweatpants, Nike tennis shoes. Footage showed the suspect and Jordan engaged in an encounter before the suspect was later seen running back to the car. The bucket hat was found on the scene. The 2-year-old and the 7-year-old were left abandoned in the home after their mother was shot. Mills was later arrested in Hampton, wearing the same clothes seen in the footage.
Disturbing information
Women,
about
get
the
y'all a
shooting
gun.
death of a Portsmouth woman Wednesday
Start
night.
fighting these men
That's right.
back.
The documents confirm what 10 on your
Exercise
side
your,
learned.
your self-defense,
Shaquana
right?
Jordan was 5 weeks pregnant, according to court documents.
Stop
when
taking these
Hasheed
men back.
Mills allegedly opened fire in the presence of the family's 2 children. My daddy shot my mother. That is what court documents say a child told dispatchers around 8:30 Wednesday night in a 911 call from Kenny Lane in the Churchland section of the city. It is likely the death of 30-year-old Shaquana Deborah Jordan will be recorded in the annals of crime trends. Her children, 2 and 7, witnessed her death, and according to court documents, she was 5 weeks pregnant. 30-year-old Hasheed Ali Mills faces numerous charges, including the willful, deliberate, and premeditated killing of a pregnant woman by one who knows that the woman is pregnant and has the intent to cause the involuntary termination of the woman's pregnancy without a live birth. I discussed cases of this nature with Dr. Bernadette Holmes, who is an expert on family violence. It's the leading cause of death. Murder is the leading cause of death for pregnant women.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. And that kind of behavior, domestic violence, does not occur in a vacuum.
Court documents also reveal a history of violence in which each partner has been the accused. Outside the crime scene, according to court documents, Police saw a pile of items that belonged to Mills, including clothing and medicine.
So she threw it out.
According to court documents, the victim reportedly told loved ones she was afraid Mills would return.
And oftentimes victims are afraid to come forward. You're at greater risk of homicide when you are attempting
Woman,
to
get you a strap. He come back. You know,
now,
do your
according
thing.
to the Harvard
Protect yourself.
University
Protect your
School of
family.
Public Health, American
Your
women
kids.
who are pregnant or who have recently given birth are more likely to be murdered than to die from pregnancy-related conditions. It also says these murders are linked to a deadly mix of violence and firearms. Mills remains in jail without bond.
Now, as we wrap this video up, to the victim, once again, rest in peace. Love and condolences to your family. If anyone feeling the need in their heart to reach out or want to donate, I'll leave how to do so in the bio from the family that was left on social media. But fam, it seems like every day we're reminded the complex interplay between choices and consequences. The actions of one individual can ripple through the lives of many, leaving lasting scars. Today we honored the memory of a life tragically lost and reflected on the impact of crime, not just on victims, but families and communities. Let's carry these lessons forward, advocating for accountability and compassion in our society. Fam, I appreciate you guys taking the time to check this video out with me. This was the story of a Virginia man who happens to be an informant, and if he would have did the time based on the crimes he committed, he'd still be incarcerated, which leave thoughts to maybe the mom could possibly still be here too. Let me know how you guys feel about this one. It's more developed, I'll keep you guys updated.
That's crazy. Woman, leave these men. Protect yourself. Get a gun. He come back. Exercise your right to protect yourself. Stop taking a man back that's beating on you. You know, stop being scared, you know, but... Whew. Like and subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.